we're not given those raises. So I had a fairly difficult bargaining situation as well to deal with. It came out well. That year we did not go over. We actually had some left over. Again, I attribute that to the staff working real well and me keeping tabs on things as well. That's one that comes to mind. There's been others, but...
To do a follow-up question, how many different types of unions have you negotiated with before?
Different types, probably 2 at this point. There's also one instance where they were forming a union, which, if anyone knows anything about it, that can be a very interesting situation, because you've got to be very careful about things during that period. Thank you.
And our final question will be from Selectwoman Haley Brooks.
Have you ever been in a leadership role where major change is taking place in the organization? How did you approach your part in it, and what are some key considerations in successfully introducing change?
Well, excuse me again. Well, probably the situation I just sort of recounted, where we were transferring from the organization not having an actual administrator or manager. That definitely required some organizational change in the sense of the culture of the organization and getting back in there. I don't want to be so repetitive, though, as to only use that. I'm trying to think of some new things, but I approached it basically by, again, trying to put myself in the shoes of, having some empathy of the people that, the staff that I was working with, and how it was kind of a change. We're going from someone now, you've got a manager and someone to report to, versus not having that. So I guess and again, I don't want to be so repetitive, but probably the best way to say it was to be gentle at first and try to, understand, how other people feel about it. And again, since I gave that example, I kind of briefly wanted to say that there's been, I know I'm giving you kind of 2.5 here, but 1.5, but there's been other instances where we had to do change for office setup. For example, I've done a redo of all the computer systems, and that was quite difficult, transitioning people. And at first, no one wants to change, as you know, and it can be very difficult to get used to a new computer platform. And so trying to, give all the support I could, and making sure there were people there that could help to make that transition work well as well.
Okay.
That was good.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for us?
Oh, probably not. Looks like you've got a very tight and very important agenda tonight, so I won't hold you up. I guess maybe I'm wondering what your timeline is, maybe briefly, going forward, if you want to.
Well, you are our final candidate that
Yep.
we interviewed, so beginning probably next week, we will begin the process of compiling all of our worksheets, tabulating the scores that were given, and then calls will go out, I'm sure, shortly after that for second round interviews, if they're needed.
Okay, great. I guess that I'll leave it at that for this point. And again, I want to thank you all very much for inviting me.
Thank you for coming down.
Thank
We
you for
appreciate
coming.
it. Thank you. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll let people know. Yeah, thanks. At this point, we'll take a 5 to 7 minute break while the DVDs are switched out.